It's trending Tuesdays, where the culture meets the conversation. Yeah. Every Tuesday we're setting the tone. Latest trends, let it be known. Voices rising, stories unfold. Thought-provoking, fresh and bold. From the mic to the movement we bring. Conversations that matter, hear wisdom sing. Insight, purpose, food for the soul. This is the place where ideas grow. It's trending Tuesday. Tune in, stay ready. Inspiration served hot, call it mostly greens. With Chef Eddie. Redefining broadcast, changing the way we speak. Real talk, real life, every single week. Yeah. Oh, organic living, mind and play. Healthy conversations that elevate. From the kitchen to the culture we see. Growth, wellness and authenticity. Laugh, learn and be entertained. Meaningful dialogue, never the same. If it's trending, if it's true, we're bringing it straight to you. It's trending Tuesday. Tune in, stay ready. Inspiration served hot, call it mostly greens. With Chef Eddie. Redefining podcast, changing the way we speak. Real talk, real life, every single week. Yeah. Sponsored by Danny Davis and Katie at TC, building community. Yeah. Inspiring change.
Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to the 45th edition of Trending Tuesdays with Kay Davis in the community. Let's give it up this evening.
All right.
We welcome our live studio audience and we welcome all of you in our virtual world. Welcome into the Trending Tuesday podcast with none other than Danette K. Davis, especially a teenage mother, a mother who lives in vulnerable conditions and circumstances and environments. What happens along her journey after she says yes? What a powerful topic. We have been having a discussion the last 2 days. What has it been like for your experience?
Oh, today blew me away. You know, you guys came in and the stories, the work that's being done, the things that are going on in Houston, right under my nose, but under everybody's nose, the services that are available, and the connections that are being made are absolutely fantastic, Tanya. And I cannot thank you enough, you and the bishop, for bringing this to us in Sunnyside. I know you guys, y'all work the north. But we're sitting over here waiting, to do our part, and we're excited for our community in the great Sunnyside as well.
Yes, now, I know you're wondering, what in the world is she speaking of?
Right.
Well, she's speaking of the community conversations that we've been having, again, on the north side and here on the south side with the Community of Faith Church in partnership with CareNet, along with some Houston pregnancy centers, health care professionals, community stakeholders, public officials, faith-based leaders, everyone coming to the table to discuss and to see how we can bring our resources together to better walk alongside giving our women, mothers now to be, and mothers who have become, not just a hand out as many would come through the community doing, but also giving them a hand up.
And we don't want to forget the fathers.
Yeah. The fathers, yes.
Because we know that it takes two, and we feel like they're just as excited and involved, and we want to make sure that responsibility is shared and supported.
Right. They're essential. Their support, their presence is essential in the life of the child and is the support of the mother. Right. For sure. Well, let's are you ready to get this started?
Get started. I just want to, say hello and thank you again and take it away.
Yes, take it away. Well, we're so glad to have in the studio with us today Bishop James Dixon of the Community of Faith Church. And we want to hear from Bishop Dixon why it is so important and why he has actually connected with CareNet with this initiative that we have coming up, Serve Day on August the 18th. But beyond just coming in, having a day of service for the community, what is it that the church and the community need to be doing to better serve these families? Bishop Dixon, will you please join us and greet us at this time?
What a delight it is to be here. What a delight, what a joy. And thanks for having me to be on the Trending Tuesday setting ends. It's been a while since I've been here. I think that they put me on waivers and been having all of those special guests. My friends have been on and finally let me come back. So I'm certainly delighted and honored to be here today, and I want to appreciate so very much. It's CareNet David. Let's give her a hand. She's just an amazing person. It takes so much for her to do so much, and when she does it with such a grace and with dignity and with class and sophistication, I'm just constantly amazed and inspired by her selfless leadership. CareNet David is just one of the most selfless people you'll ever be in your life, and when you talk to her, she's so calm and so confident, and yet you never feel intimidated by her power. So let's give it up to her one more time, fam. Give us doing the dinner. And Tanya, thank you so very much as you are hosting this podcast on her behalf, Trending Tuesdays. You're natural at the microphone and on the camera, look like you got some Dixon looks, and so it's a blessing to be here. But hello, we're excited to have all of our friends here collaborating with CareNet. I know they're going to be introduced shortly. But to talk to the city of Houston and beyond about this phrase we use, it takes a village. And when you think about young mothers, young expecting mothers, including teens who find themselves in awkward positions oft times, it's very easy, as we've learned through testimony, for those young women to fall into states of depression. Often they feel awkward and guilty. Teens who are in school trying to figure out, how am I going to further my education? How am I going to pay for the services? How do I get this, all the necessary supplemental benefits those young ladies need? Questions are complex. And but to think about what CareNet and what the collaboration with the pregnancy centers and churches can do and are doing is just a vital service. And from the church's perspective, of course, our assignment is always to share the love of Christ for people where we need for. And sometimes I think we try to meet people in a place where they should be, as opposed to meeting people in a place where they happen to be. And none of us have had a journey that has been exactly like we expected, including myself. It's like driving Houston. At some point, you're going to hit a pothole at sunset. I had a flat tire today. Didn't expect it. And before I came here, came outside and the tire was flat. Called the service, and I had 2 holes in the same tire. It reminded me of life. And I think that sometimes we think people should have tires that always roll. So CareNet and this collaboration shown up in people's lives at times when they're vulnerable. Maybe they've had a flat tire, but that doesn't mean the whole car is no good. Right. And so reminding them of their value, even if the tire's flat, and then helping to inflate the tire. Like my tire was fixed today, and so I could live on and drive out. That's how I see this opportunity. And then to remind of their greatness beyond particular the moment of crisis. and to see this as a blessing, not a burden. So there's so much that the church can do and we're seeking to do. I'm excited, first of all, about August the 18th, about the Great Serve Day, to be working in collaboration with these wonderful people and the CareNet network that'll be there at the Community Faith Church on the 18th. We want all faith leaders. This is not a one church effort. It's going to take all of us. There are thousands of young ladies in our communities, right around our churches, who don't know that our hearts are big enough to love them in the moments when it counts the most. And so I want to encourage all of our pastors to get involved. The nomination is not an issue. It's about the love of Jesus Christ and showing people what he looks like when you need to know. So, you know, it's amazing that we preach about Jesus a lot, but we know how amazing Jesus is because of when he showed up for people. He showed up when they were hungry. He showed up when they were, destitute, showed up when they were under accusation, when they were under condemnation. He showed up when things were in trouble. When the wine ran out, that's when Jesus stood up, right? So I think that that's what we get a chance to do, to seize an opportunity. August 18th, all of us should come, healthcare professionals, all of us who serve in the community. And then beyond that, we've got a mission, right, to help people make it for the rest of their journey. So thank you for your leadership, and thank you all for the partnership.
Right. Thank you so much, Bishop Dixon, for those definitely deep expressions that I think needs to awaken the most of us, because I think we've fallen asleep in this area to feel like, they're over there. That's a problem that's not at my front door. And so I can actually turn my head. I can drive by and look the other way as long as I don't have to become a part of the solution. But we're saying today that we are all responsible for being a part of the solution, because these are our daughters. These are our sons. As you say, often what's going on in the community is really what you have in the church. There's no separation, and what's in the church is what is in the community. So, to be where people are, we say the church says we are the light of the world. Well, we know that light is only needed in dark times. How relevant is light when there is light? There is no relevance of light when there is enough light shining. So light has to show up in dark situations, and those are dark experiences where people are. So thank you so much for hitting on that. And I'm also grateful that you said that one church or a couple of churches, a couple of organizations or entities or institutions cannot work this work alone. We have to join hand in hand with it, which is why I too am grateful for the CareNet community, the partners with CareNet, the pregnancy centers here in Houston, and CareNet have affiliates around the nation, 1,300 of them around the nation. I've learned so much more about the pregnancy centers, and today we have with us an affiliate of CareNet, Miss Tia with WTL. Tia, and I'm giving your name that we call you, yes, so you can give us your government name, yes, as the kids will say, right? And tell us who you are, what you're representing, and what services you all have to offer to those mothers and fathers after they say yes. And we're saying after they say yes right now to giving childbirth, but we're also going to talk about what happens when they say no.
Yeah. Yes. So my name is Latia Blunt, and everyone calls me Tia once they get to know me. And I am the director of the Pregnancy Center in Waller, which is about 5 minutes from Prairie View A&M University. Our name is The Way, Truth, and Life Outreach, and we do business as Waller Pregnancy Care Center and Family Way Empowerment. We are affiliated with CareNet, who is a pro-life, abundant, faith-based ministry. They govern pregnancy centers throughout the nation, and this year we're hosting conference here in Houston. And so I just want to share that CareNet helps us with education and the resources and the policies for us as pregnancy centers so we can function to serve our community. They are a ministry that provides compassion, hope, and care to mothers and fathers who are facing the risk of abortion and not sure of what to do. And so what we do as being pro-abundant life, the vision means that our goal is not just to save the babies from abortion, but it is also to ensure that the parents have abundant life. And we know that that is found through Christ. And so we as pregnancy centers are also faith-based, and connecting with the churches in our community then connects us with the clients that we are serving. And so that is what we do. All of our services are free. We provide the pregnancy tests, the limited obstetric ultrasound. We help them with prenatal vitamins, baby supplies such as diapers, wipes, car seats, strollers. We provide parenting, pregnancy, life skills, spiritual empowerment sessions. Our goal is to just meet the client where they are and to be a support to them while they're pregnant until their babies are 3 years old, at least at our center. Other centers definitely go beyond that age, because we know that this is a holistic thing. This is not just about the supplies. We're having to do something that is transformative. So this is not a one-time thing. And so we are invested in helping them to be better moms and dads and parents and families. We are interested in helping them with mental health. So we provide counseling. We're doing psychoeducation classes, having clinical psychologists come in to talk about breaking change of intergenerational trauma. It is deep, that what they need right now. And so we are so excited to be able to have brought CareNet here to walk the grounds of the community, to understand better who we are serving and what the needs are in the community. And they want people to know that pregnancy centers are here. We are here for after the yes. You do not have to walk this alone. All centers operate differently. However, our mission is still to keep them grounded in Christ and know that their life is not over just because they're having a baby. It's just may slow some things down, but we can still get through with whatever it is that you choose to do with the right support. And so support is here.
Yes. Bishop Dixon, I heard you say during one of our conversational pause stops that we have to make sure that we translate the message to these young parents that this is just a moment in your life. It does not define your destiny. Will you talk about that to our audience on today? Why it's important to share that message to parents in this particular time of their lives?
Well, I think it's sort of necessary that we help. Perspective changes everything. And when we're going through traumatic situations, none of us think exactly clear. And our perceptions of ourselves change, especially if I'm in a situation that's a result of something I didn't intend. And young teens, as to work with, they're not in high school planning to have a baby. They're in high school planning to graduate, planning to go to college, maybe planning to start a career, planning one day to have a family. But then that happens in the 9th grade or the 10th, 12th grade. And so what do I do from this moment? And that's such a big issue. It can become a life-defining issue if your perspective allows it. And I think it's important for us to help them, and this is what these services do, help the young lady, even the young man, to understand that this moment is a part of your movie. It's not the entire movie. Your movie is still being developed. And then we get criticized. Don't I mean, all of us have been criticized, especially when you have made a mistake and you're trying to make a decision. What do I do with this situation? And sometimes, women may choose abortion because they don't think that they can live beyond the moment with a baby. And that may be their decision ultimately, but they didn't have choices. And if it can bring to bear this reality that a snapshot of your life for 9 months is not your entire movie. We live in motion, not in stillness, in stagnation. And so that's important for us to help them understand. And those of us who live long enough, right, we've got our own experiences that they can relate to if we're transparent.
Right.
I think a part of the church's challenge is hypocrisy. We are full of pretense, and sometimes people think that we've lived this life in a glass, room with all of our mistakes hidden. But sometimes we need to take off the layers of officialdom. My name is not Bishop Dixon. That's my title. That we all have feet of clay, and our fingerprints are somewhere we didn't expect them to be. But God's grace meets you where you are and enables you to make it to a not yet that doesn't look like you're right now. And that's what this ministry of hope instills in the young men and in the young ladies. And then they'll be in a position to have a story and a testimony in the minister to somebody else later. So we're excited to be a part of that. And again, churches, we want to encourage us to do this because I think that if our gospel does not work outside, it's worthless inside. And so that's really the motivation for us to serve and to get a chance. When we heard those teens
Yesterday, it was
the other day talking about their realities and their journeys, it gets to breach his bias even now. To think that had these services not been there, what their conversations would be as opposed to what they are. And to see them holding their heads up.
Yes.
And nurturing their babies, still in school, planning to graduate, because sometimes the biggest boost we get is from a fall that's met by God's favor.
Yes.
And you meet the best people when you're in your worst circumstances. And that's what CareNet and this team of love provides. So I'm excited to be a part of it.
Leslie Deaver is here. Leslie, introduce yourself, and then we're going to get into some conversation that is a continuation from where Bishop Dixon just left off.
Well, first off, my name is Leslie Deaver, and I'm a pregnancy-related service coordinator in the Aldine Independent School District. Pregnancy-related service is a TEA, Texas Education Agency, supported program that forges and supports pregnant and parenting teens. So I'm really excited about this whole initiative because I've been doing this job for 6 years, but it's been in play a long time. And the overwhelming support that these programs are going to offer, I often thought I was in it alone, trying to figure out what am I going to do with these girls? How am I going to help them? Where can I find resources? So all of this is going to be really important that the village does support the girl. So basically in Aldine and public school, because they support, TEA supports all public schools that have this initiative. It's 6th grade or whenever they get pregnant. So I have had girls as young as 11 are pregnant. So I'm supporting middle school and high schoolers. And so I really do have a long journey with some of these girls because if they have a baby at 12, I'm trying to keep them in school till graduation. So I'm dealing with them from the time they have their baby or when they find out they're pregnant through the whole process. And then I'm a part of the parenting as well. And then the academic part of it is, when they have their baby, even if they're on bed rest, I go to their house twice a week and provide that academic support so they're not falling behind in school. Just trying to keep them in school because some of them, their first thought is, I got to drop out. I got to get a job. I got to figure out what I got to do. Or the shame is there. They don't even want to come to school because they don't want anybody to know.
Right. And so again, making sure that they understand that this particular stage of their life does not define their entire life or who they are. We also have had very great success stories of those who receive the support. They have the village around them. So we have the testimonies of young ladies who have graduated from high school, from college. They're great entrepreneurs. And then you will be surprised how many women, seasoned women, are also testimonials of this same situation. You just have not heard their stories. You know, and so I see the audience really shaking their heads. Yes, yes, yes. So that's a resounding yes to me. I'm looking at the smiles. So your smile means yes as well. And so when you look at us, and I'm including myself, you have to understand that we did not walk it alone. Someone had to help take our hands at some point and help to lead us, to guide us, to support us, to mentor us. And I'm so thankful that these young ladies and men, I get to see, I've gone to Eisenhower, so I've seen it from on both sides, the teenage men and young women and men, guys who are learning to parent and walk this out together along with the support that they have. So let's talk about now, what does that look like from the schools to the community, your services in the community, to the church? Because that's what we're talking about, connecting today.
But Tanya, I think, Leslie, please don't fail to tell how many schools you have to serve.
Yes.
So in Alding, there are 6 teachers like myself, and we serve each vertical. So for me, I'm the Eisenhower vertical, and so I serve Ike Senior, Ike 9, Victory, Carver, Drew, Lansing, and then even if the girl is in an alternative school. So I just think it's kind of funny, or probably eye-opening. When we were in school, there was a time when you became pregnant, and then once they saw you were pregnant, they didn't want everybody else to see you, so they sent you to the pregnant. Or your parents might have sent you away, and then you came back and that was your little sister. So now the way our world has evolved, everybody is equal, and the girls are allowed to stay within their peer group and remain at school. So it's a lot of work because I'm teaching them parenting skills, teaching them, hey, you are somebody's parent. They're filling out a form, and now they're trying to put on the form when it says mom or parent, they're putting their mom. I'm like, no, you're the parent. So it's a whole educational process, and it's life skills. And I know the Pregnancy Center and TIP, which is a teen incentive program, they come into our school. They offer us support medically, mentally, emotionally, and they help support us as well.
And so it is important. There are organizations in our community that support teen parents, right? And we need all of those organizations to also link up with us on Serve Day, August 18th. We need to let the community know who you are so that you can connect with them and they can connect with you. So please definitely get in touch with us at thecommunityoffaith.org. That's, you'll see, be able to click our website and receive information, and we can then connect with you and connect you to Serve Day Houston on August the 18th. But we also have our mini activations, 4 mini activations coming up prior to August 18th. We have those on the north side and those on the south side. And those mini activations are, again, to let the community know what is coming August the 18th, how they can connect, and also to begin the connection even at that point. Am I correct, Tim?
Yes, absolutely. We want to do these mini activations throughout Houston because, like we said, it is a collective effort for us to really work to help the people in our community. One of the biggest things is we know that we come up against barriers such as transportation. And so that's why we're wanting to I am wanting, and CareNet, to let our centers know about providing outreach services if we're not, because sometimes we have to meet them where they are. When you just think about where I am in a rural area, it's not as easy sometimes for clients to get somewhere. So we use our medical mobile unit to go out to provide the service. And so we want them to know that we are willing to come to the neighborhoods. And maybe it might not be all centers, but that's the point. Each center has something that they can offer offer and that they can do. And so we want to make sure that the community knows so they can find, okay, well, I can come here for this or they'll come here for that. And that is the goal. But we have to connect them to the churches because this is a lifelong transformative journey. Okay. So we're wanting not to just fulfill the physical needs that they need, but we spiritually need them to be grounded because we're trying to change the generations and the family dynamic. So yes, Serve Day is going to provide that opportunity when they can see all of us together.
Yes. And before we allow Bishop Dixon to get out, we do understand that we have those who say yes.
Yes.
And then we have those who say no. Both of those are life-changing experiences.
Yes.
Both of those need to be met with love, compassion, patience, right? And be willing to actually lift them up just as well because it's traumatizing.
Yes.
It's a traumatizing event. Bishop Dixon, what do you say? We talk about the grace and the mercy of God. We know that guilt and shame can kill a person. So what would you say to a young person that's now facing this reality and perhaps they have said no? And they feel like I've done such a condemning or damning, made such a damning decision. But so where do I go from here? Do I just die as well?
No, I think, first of all, listen, life decisions are made every day by all of us that are personal and that are challenging. And if I were to ask any one of us here, how often have you made a decision that someone else thought was wrong, but you thought was right? All of us would lift our hands. And we have to respect that, right? What I do appreciate about this consortium of leadership and team members and CareNet is understanding that the love of Jesus Christ meets you whether you are in a yes place to giving birth or whether you're in a place of, I want to say yes to my life, but differently and without giving birth, whatever that is. And our theological reasons and values may be different than other people's, but that does not diminish their value.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's important that the church has that kind of heart and compassion. Sometimes when we hear pro-life, we think that we're going to condemn those who choose something different. That's not what Jesus would mean. And I love the fact that CareNet has adopted the abundant life philosophy because abundant life is beyond the pro-life label. And it's been politicized, unfortunately, but pro-life means we want you to live.
Yes.
And abundant life means we want you to live your best life through Christ. Yeah. And so meeting that young lady or the young man or both in that particular place at that intersection and helping them to discover self-worth, self-value beyond that decision, and to deal with them spiritually and emotionally and mentally, and even physically. That, to me, I think is holistic ministry. And the services that the clinics provide as well as what the church can provide is important. And if I can't come to church and say, this is the decision I made, maybe it was 6 months ago, maybe it was 10 years ago, or maybe I'm about to make it. How then do we come alongside those individuals and show them the heart of God in the moment that they need to know the heart of God the most? That's what this is all about.
I wanted to say to that because sometimes you're right. Sometimes they can't get to the church, right? But that's why you have your women's groups and your men's groups, and we invite them into our centers to come. You can host things there at the center for them if you're able to travel. It's not just the centers that can come out. We invite the churches in. That's the engagement that we really want to see. And being pro-abundant life is exactly that. Yes, as pregnancy centers, our goal is to provide that option counseling because they only have 3 options to choose. They can choose to parent, make a plan for adoption, or they may choose abortion. But if we are Christ-led and she chooses abortion, it does not mean we do not love them afterwards. We provide abortion recovery for them. We have, there are clients who may have taken abortion pill and want abortion reversal. There are centers in Houston that provide abortion reversal as well. And so we are literally wanting to meet them where they are. And like he said, they have made it where pro-life, it becomes such a political thing, but CareNet is, like they said, more about the abundant life. So we're not just stopping if they say no and they come into our center. We are still going to call to check in to see how you are doing. We don't just leave you because you've made this decision. And I said earlier that we all make choices and God gives us that free will. And it doesn't mean that we choose right in the eyes of him. And that's all of us, right? So we still have to love and provide them the support. And we want them to know that at Serve Day, that there are pro-life abundant ministries right here that are doing the work after the yes.
I think that's why they call it Amazing Grace.
There we go. Well, Amazing Grace. How many of you are recipients of the Amazing Grace of God?
Lord.
If that's you in the virtual world, I need you to type it in right now. Type in Amazing Grace right there. That's right. We thank you so much, Bishop Dixon, for being with us on today. We thank you, Leslie and Tia, for being with us on the day. You've been a part of Tia. You've been a part of the conversations in the communities and the community tour for the last 2 days.
Yes.
You have been letting me drag you
Yes.
all through the city of Houston, from one side of town to the next
Yes.
side of town. And so at this time, we're going to definitely invite Miss Wade to join us. At this time, Leslie, thank you so much. We're going to also ask Mr. Grantham to come and join us at this time. Mr. Grantham and Till, we're going to keep you here on the set. We have been actually really working with bridging the gap. You know, it's about filling the gaps because there are gaps
Yes.
in meeting the community's needs.
Yes.
We talk about programs coming into the community and not really assessing the community, not really stopping to listen to what the community has to say, because the community can tell you better than anyone else what their needs are, what their desires are. And so we thank you both. Mr. Grantham, you've been able to hang out with us a little bit. Ms. Wade heard about what we've been doing on these roads, but she's joining us at this point of our journey. Let's talk about some of our community conversations and what you've learned being a part of the community conversations, because that's going to lead us into introducing Ms. Wade. Mr. Grantham, I'm going to allow you to speak first so that you can go ahead and introduce yourself and what you are part of here in the community as well.
Okay. My name is Caesar Grantham. I'm with the Houston Pregnancy Help Center. We have 3 locations in Houston, downtown location, 3636 San Jacinto. We have one in the 5th Ward and one in the Heights. And we provide pregnancy tests, case management. We see about 25,000 women a year. We do about 5,000 ultrasounds, a little over 6,000 pregnancy tests. And our case management will refer them for resources. We provide diapers, some of the same things that they do at Waller. We have 2 medical mobile vans. We have the APR where, if a woman have taken an abortion and she's saying, hey, I want to change my mind, we have the abortion pill reversal. So we have a doctor and nurse on staff that can take care of that.
Okay. And I heard you say medical. And so I believe one thing that people mistake when you say medical, they're thinking, though you're providing some medical services, right? But medical services to different people mean different things. Some people are looking for you to provide more or a comprehensive medical service when you are providing just really a a spectrum of medical services. So can you talk to people as to why you only provide what you provide? It's like, I think about, I'm an early childhood specialist. I did that for 35 years, right? Mm-hmm. So when I think about childcare, and my friend Anetta is in the education profession as well. When you talk about that, there were daycare centers, early childhood, whatever child development programs all around, right? But we were unique within our own offerings. Some of us, the Texas minimum standard said you had to perform or provide a base level of services. But when you constructed or designed your own program, some of us provided a lot more than others. I see that being the same way with the pregnancy centers. Can you and Tia really talk to that? Because I believe people put everybody under one umbrella, or saying that this is the cookie cutter model for all pregnancy centers, when I am hearing consistently and have been experiencing that they're all different. All of them are not, let me just make this clear, all of them are not even affiliated with CareNet. So you have some centers that are affiliates. What does that mean? They're a member of the CareNet system. Again, I go back to the child care business. I know that very well. I could choose to be a member of Texas Licensed Child Care Association. I can choose to be a member of NACI and any other child care association. I pay a membership fee. Being a member, I do get some benefits. I am able to go to some conferences, receive some training for my staff and myself, and some other resources. That's what being a member, from what I understand, of or an affiliate of CareNet is. Yes. It does not mean that CareNet is the provider or the provisionary for that pregnancy center. So I am going to pause and I'm going to let you all talk a little bit more, because I believe the public needs to understand the similarities that you have and the differences and why that is.
So I'll say this, and we'll use our two pregnancy centers to speak of. Location is a major thing. They are right there in the inner city. I am in a rural country where we are only seeing maybe 6,000 visits a year, where they're just alone are doing seeing just 25,000 women, right? So the location and things matter, because the services are going to matter. The resources are going to be a little different. They probably see a much higher volume of clients that are facing more, being abortion vulnerable, minded, and determined, where being in the rural country, we may not face that much. We may have more parents that are parenting toddlers that need that support. So we only do about 25 to 30 pregnancy tests a month. So the services medically will be different. One, be based on location, and it's based on funding. So we do not provide abortion reversal, where I'm sure at your center, that is something that they really need, considering the people that they're serving. So every center has their own board that has their own governance of how and what services they can provide based on funding and grants like that. Some pregnancy centers are not even medical, so they do not even do the ultrasound. Some go as far as providing full first trimester care. So those centers are more detailed in medical services. Some provide actual STI and STD testing. Some are actually providing just at least basic checkups for vitals, letting you know your blood pressure and things like that. So we all offer a very unique array of medical services, and we understand that medical is something that's very important that a lot of them cannot get, but we do walk with them to help them fill out for Medicaid if they need that. We will help them get set up with. We're not just referring them out. Not all centers are just giving you a referral list. Lots of centers are doing the work on the ground, where when we have that woman and man there, we are connecting them directly to the WIC office. We are helping them fill out for the Medicaid. We are helping them find the doctor. We are doing all of that type of work. But yes, sometimes you do come up against roadblocks and they need more. And that's why you got to partner in the community and with the schools and with the churches, because we need to know who's there that we can send them to.
And with that being said, sometimes you have to know a person like Miss Wade.
Yes.
Miss Wade, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Dollar Wade, and I'm the newly elected chairman of the board for the YWCA. And we have a real connection with the messaging that has occurred today because we're that service that connects when those individuals need housing, when those individuals need wraparound services. And want to say I'm so delighted that Jacqueline Bostic is here. She's on the National Pension Board of the Y and has managed all these Ys in the Houston area, and our interim executive director, Marilyn Fance. And I want you to know we're a 116-year-old organization. And we're located on Martin Luther King Boulevard. So we're in the hub of where a lot of needs are.
Yes.
And I don't want you to be afraid not to come from Waller.
Oh, no, we
To-
travel. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm trying to get some mobile units there.
Yes,
But
we
I-
have them.
Okay.
Both of
And,
us.
and we will be reaching out. So I want you to see us as the Young Women's Christian Association, not to be confused with the men's organization, because we do a lot more than exercising. We believe in wellness and healthy living. But we are there when someone wants to start their own business because they're a parent now
Today.
and they need to be able to care for. We are also there for housing. We have a wonderful HUD program, and we know that as a result of lifing, there are individuals who have challenges. So Marilyn and her team work with case managers so that we can get proper housing. But we're not trying to keep them in the housing forever, not as likers, but to give them a leg up so they can lift themselves up.
Yes.
We also have a wonderful program called 360 where they can learn to be entrepreneurs. Let's say you chose cosmetology in your high school curriculum. You've got that license now. But how do I start my own business?
Yes.
How do I use all of that technical skill that I've had, but I don't have the interpersonal or the soft skills? Maybe I don't even know how to balance a checkbook. We have programs like that are computer-based. They use technology, as you know, most of the people in our group. So we're saying that we look at every age group, from the youngest, those children who will need school supplies, those children who might need STEM training, those children who are going to be brilliant because they've been birthed by a mom and a dad. And we don't just serve women. We serve men as well. We have men in our housing program. They're fathers to be, unlisted fathers. And we talk about that whole life cycle of responsibility. And we do it with compassion. Okay. So we realize that one of our highest values is eliminating racism wherever it is. But when you're a young teen mom and you may be a person of color or not of color, you already have a challenge that other people don't have. So we are there to help put together wraparound services. We're talking about parenting forces. And now that we see all these wonderful resources in this who are going to come to our programming efforts. Thank you so much for volunteering tonight. Thank you, Mary.
We are enlisted.
And we think about this as a holistic approach.
Yes.
So when Danette called and said, I know we're all about this, that, the other, and we're going to rope her in some more, to be in these kinds of programs. But what we want to say is we're a 116-year-old organization with a heart. We have Christian principles. We look at ourselves as a cradle to the next transition stage, not to the grave, but to the next transition. Yes. We've had senior programs, and we're going to reactivate some of that. We've had meals programs where people are food insufficient. And I want you to know about us because at Thanksgiving time, there's typically food. And you know how we as people no matter what color, race, creed. We love food.
Yes.
And around food comes connections.
Yes.
And so we think about that. So when you think about the Young Women's Christian Association, think about us as a wellness organization, an organization that wants to help build businesses and create entrepreneurs. We love to have fun. So some of that and giveaway. And I'm going to let you in on a secret. I think I need to announce it. We are getting ready to launch our own resale shops.
Amazing.
And to use some of our clients to train in retail professions.
That's amazing.
And we'll have point of sale. And we already have people who are donating. And we're going to have a designer section. So if you know some of your friends who have those St. John suits in the back of their closet.
And I'll be the first one to come and shop.
Yes. And we're hoping to have a nonprofit day for those who work in nonprofit. We realized that one of our former board members brought this idea, and we are so excited. But we're so excited about the entrepreneurial program 360. We're excited that we're going to be able to hopefully have more room as people transition out of the housing program to make space for others. Because when you're bringing a child in the world, not only do you need the bassinet and the diapers and the formula, but what about the roof over your head? And how are you going to safety? That whole hierarchy of needs is the basic needs. And we're there to meet a basic need. So tonight, while we are not having a mobile unit, we don't have a medical staff yet. But however, we are going to invite you to come into our corridor. We got a big parking lot. We got a green space in the back where we could have gardening. We're going to try to teach life skills.
Yes.
And, Jasmine Terry is with us. She's one of our board members. And I want you to know that we've decided that we are leveling up, as Marilyn always likes to say. So we have a millennial on our board of directors who can really relate. And, all of us can relate in our families, whether we had teen pregnancy or not, we host someone. And so I just wanted to say that's how we wanted to weave ourselves into this conversation and to say, we'll be back. We'll be getting your numbers. Okay. We want numbers. And email addresses, but we want the greater community to know that the YWCA is alive and well.
Yes.
It's a positive organization. It's right there near the South Loop, not far from how the University of Houston is expanding. And we're here to stay. Okay. We are here to stay. We're grounded. And so I wanted to share that.
So can you tell us how a woman or a man can become a part of the YWCA?
Well, they don't have to pay a membership to join. They need to come to our door. Pick up the phone, go on the internet, and say, I want to learn or I want to connect. I am an adult father and I'm not with the mother, but I want to make sure that my child is learning and thriving because we really believe in what Jesus Christ said. We saw the crowd scattered abroad. He was moved with compassion, and we are moved with compassion. So you will be hearing more. We're going to get back on this podcast with you and others because we have back to school events around the holidays. And holidays are some of the loneliest times of the year. And we need to start figuring out programs that expand the net.
Yes.
And we want to open that net. And we've got broad shoulders, big hearts, little money, but we're going to get it done.
But when we
so
pull that money together, right? Yes. When we put all of our little bit into the pot, it makes abundance. And that's what I like about the good stew. You can put a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and all of those seasons and flavors come together, and you have a delicious meal. And so, and to share with others, not just for yourself. One thing I've heard quite often around this table said, and that is the word compassion. To you, my friend, yes, you. I want you to type in right now compassion, because without compassion, no one is moved. If you don't have compassion, is actually like the gas in the tank that moves you to do something, go beyond where you are, for the benefit of someone else. And so I want to thank you all, the YWCA, for what you're doing. Thank you to Queen Jacqueline Bostic. I just love being in her presence. I turn into someone else in her presence, because I honor her so much. I am so privileged to have been growing up to know her, and the affiliation with she and my family. And so I am always so grateful for the opportunity to be into her presence. And when you know that you're doing something connected to her, you know you're at least on the right path. And that's how I feel.
That's right.
Yes.
And she invests in us.
Yes.
And she has so much wisdom.
Yes.
And the YWCA is here to stay. And we are so excited to meet all of you tonight. So appreciative to Danette and her husband for hosting us. And we'll be back, but we'll be connected with you all because this is a great opportunity.
Wonderful. When we come here on the South Side with our many activations, we're going to make sure that we hit up the YWCA. We're going to make sure that we do that. So when I believe in collective potency.
Yes.
That's a Bishop Dixon word that he has really taught us, and that I adopted for my life.
Yes.
And so while I do a lot of things within the church and in the community, my aim is to make sure that we cease to work in silos. Right?
Yes.
Because we've learned to master that, unfortunately, which means that we dilute our potency, right?
Yes.
So the term that we are better together is definitely a fact, right? So when we bring our collective potency together, we can make greater impact. Our impact not just reaches those in our corridor or in our community, but then it can stretch from one side of the city to the other side of the city, and then beyond the city to the state, and beyond the state to the nation, and beyond the nation to the world. Then we're making the world a greater place to live in. So I want to thank you, Mr. Grantham, you, Miss Wade, you, Miss Tia, Leslie, and all of you, CareNet. Thank you so much, Miss Maddie with tips, our elected officials who have been gracing us with their time, with their presence, and their participation. We have already talked about and have dates where we're getting together as a collective again to talk about what is our next, because we will not leave our community where we came in, dropped down some resources, and we disappeared. Right. We are going to be here to walk this journey with our community, letting them know that we are part of you. You're stuck with us, and and you're a part of us. So you may as well embrace us, because you're not going to get away from us. So thank you all again. And I know I want to thank you on behalf of Danette K. Davis with K. Davis in the community, Trending Tuesdays. This is where you can definitely get a word of empowerment, a word of truth, and a word of unity, because I've not seen anyone come onto this show and leave in a divisive manner. We all seem to find our common ground. We differ in opinion. We differ in political beliefs, religious beliefs, and things of that nature. Right. But we find our common ground, and we hone in on that, right? Yes. And on that, we build what the community needs. So thank you for putting your hands in. This is what we do in sports. Hands in. You got to learn how to put it in.
Yes.
And we're going to say 1, 2, 3 together. 1, 2, 3 together. Okay. And that's what we know. You know that we're together with you, and you're together with us. We're going to throw it over in just a minute to Chef Eddie, who's going to talk to us about how and what you do when you are feeding or eating for two. Isn't that something? Yeah, I love that. Don't you all love that? Because when you're pregnant, you can no longer think about just yourself, right? I know when I was pregnant, I grew up, I didn't like vegetables, Unfortunately, green beans and corn was my thing, and mashed potatoes. I would eat that. True story. I'm so glad my mother, I don't think CPS could go back and get my mother and father. They're in their 80s. You can't touch them by now, right? And so when I was growing up, because I didn't like vegetables, my mother was like, okay, you're going to sit there until you eat it, right? And I'd be like, well, I guess I'm going to sit here until I eat it. And I would fall asleep at the table because I was refusing to eat those vegetables. And then I had a little Dotson Shawarski she knew what I was going through, and she would crawl under the table. And when my mom was not around, she would crawl, and I would be able to feed her the vegetables under the table.
Sonia, I think
and
we
to
all
the
come
point,
from
my
those
mother got to the point where she said she would ban Shawarski from coming in to try to save me. But when I got pregnant, I began to understand better. Yeah. I've got to start eating the greens, and I wouldn't do straight broccoli. Give me some broccoli with some cheese. You got to fix it up for me, but I'm going to digest it, right? At least I'm going to get it in. I love the fact that we have Chef Eddie, who's going to be gracing us in just a little while. So I want you all to stay tuned. Don't you go anywhere. You gotta, if you don't say until you get the information from Chef Eddie, you have just really missed out. But until we're ready for Chef Eddie, guess what? We're going to throw it back over because we've got to hear from Lauren and Danette Davis about something special right here at the Kay Davis in the community showroom.
Hoping there I am. Okay. Thank you, Tanya. Boy, you've done a fantastic job. We really want to thank this audience. Dale, I know y'all's first time coming, and the YWCA board. We want to thank all of you for being here tonight. And I hope that information is worth it, right? Yeah, because you guys are the same kind of services, and we're appreciative. Tanya, you've done a fantastic job. What I want to do, Kay Davis in the Community, which is our nonprofit, and we believe I think we say we decide. We decided to be here. We chose this place. We saw what was across the street. We know what's across the street, but you notice we're across from a school and a church, so we fit right in. When we put the fence up, we told the neighbor over there, we'll get you a new fence. We'll take care of you. And we told the neighbor, they didn't believe this one, but she did not believe, and we showed them that we're neighbors first. We truly believe in community. We're here and we're in the third ward as community as well. I think what I want Lauren to do is just kind of share what we do as a nonprofit, a foundation.
At Kay Davis in the community, everything we do follows one simple path. It is intentional and purpose-driven. Getting a lesson. We connect people through Trending Tuesday Showcast by creating meaningful conversations that inform, inspire, and unite our community. We create through our Community Arts Partnership Program, using the arts to celebrate culture, inspire creativity, and bring people together. We educate through our School Arts Partnership and Art Mentee program, providing opportunities for learning, mentorship, and personal growth. We empower through Nourish and Flourish by promoting healthy living, nutrition, and wellness. We support families through Kay's Closet and Random Acts of Kindness initiative by meeting practical needs with compassion and dignity. We build stronger communities through our affordable housing initiative, Urban Villas by Kay. And we partner with businesses, organizations, and individuals because we believe lasting change happens when we work together.
Look at that. Kay's Closet. She mentioned it briefly, but Kay's Closet is one of our latest I want to say projects because it's here to stay. I see Chelsea and Tanya over there sitting in the audience. They did a youth event on the 19th, and it was successful. It was here. We partnered with the pastor across the street when he did his event. We with Young Elementary, when we adopted them, the school, and told them we were gonna. We thought they said, "Was there any students that may need a little help?" She says, "Yeah, 384." All of them.
Yes.
And I said, well, she was testing me. But guess what? Pastor showed up and we put it together. We wrapped all those presents.
gifts.
We showed up with our little Santa Claus hats on and we gave by the grade. They rolled in there and we gave every one of them a gift. And that was just the kind of thing that we think, and we did it by age and did it in a way I think that all the kids, so you don't single out the kids who may need, you know what I'm saying? You gave it to all the kids so everybody felt special and nobody felt singled out.
Yes.
And it was a wonderful day or what have you. We're very intentional about what we do. And with that, I don't know where where the chef went
Chef
or what have you, but we do have someone that's going to join us. When we get done with the podcast, Tanya's going to close out, and then we have Chef that's going to do. He's going to do a simple thing. He's going to do just a salad. Talk to you just a little bit about healthy eating because you guys have talked tonight and this morning. And for those that missed the beginning, we were here 2 hours this morning with a whole round table of folk who just talked about what the community needs. And they were just, the city was here and others that talked about what can we do to make it better. When beyond the choice, whether it's yes or no. We're saying when it's yes, then we got healthy eating for what? 2. Healthy eating is important. I don't care if it's 2, 1. It's something that we all need to be very, very, very conscious of. And so Chef Eddie, who's our organic chef, and what we do here every Tuesday, and then inside of his classes, we've been fortunate, Lauren. We've got a couple of grants. Some people believe a little bit in what we do, and one of them is called Nourish and Flourish. And it's like, you nurture, and then you flourish because you eat well, you feel better, and that kind of thing. So I think what Chef Eddie's going to do is talk a little bit about something simple, whether you're single or you're pregnant or not or what, it doesn't matter. We're also busy. We don't take time. Tanya, you talked about, cause Tanya has they give away food every Wednesday. I mean, if y'all watch Facebook, she's out there every Wednesday passing out food and things like that too. And she said, but I worry sometimes because some of the young ladies may have to eat, what was it? It was with a lot of salt and things like that out of a can. Yeah, a lot of sodium and things like that. So what Chef Eddie's going to do is just talk about something real simple. It's a salad, something you can make, and without a whole lot of thought, what have you, but it's good for you and good to you. In the meanwhile, now, you're going to come? This young man is going to be a helper. We're going to put him, you have an apron. He said, there you go. Your apron. Gotta put your apron.
Oh yeah, gotta have it.
Gotta put your Nourish and Flourish
Have
apron.
an apron. Oh yeah.
Okay. He said, yeah, take that coat off.
Yeah, just a little. Yeah.
Yes, he's putting it to work. Yeah, Edmund's just gonna talk a little bit, but and he's gonna do some simple things with looks like a zucchini over there, making that salad. But we want to just walk you through.
Bring it around the
We have classes where he teaches, and we'll have 4 folk here, and we'll go through the whole thing, and he'll walk you piece by piece. We're just gonna do a little bit snippet of that tonight, so you can get an idea. So when we invite you to a culinary class, you'll get an idea of what it's like, and it's only a few minutes. And then guess what? He's already prepared a meal. Edwin, you want to you want to tell him? I saw salmon back there. I saw zucchini. He already made rice and beans. He does it. There's no pork, things like that. Don't worry about if you have salt issues and things like that. Not going to be a problem. Okay. So we're going to, Tanya, if you got some closing or you want to come, however you want to close it out, and then we'll let Chef Eddie do a little bit. It's after you. It's up to
I'll
you.
do it after Chef.
You want to do it after? Okay,
Yes,
cool.
because I want to talk about that food. I love what Chef Eddie cooks up over there.
Oh, you got your mic. Oh, he has his own mic. Okay. All right.
All righty. There's no salt here. This is one of my favorite. They made the short list Oh, look at that thunder. Made the short list of salads and arugula, organic arugula, because it's loaded with all types of antioxidants. And it's one that we don't get in our diet very much. They're real temperamental greens, have to stay cold at a certain time. You want to pick them when the babies. I grew a wasabi version of it outside last season, and then the bugs came and got it this season. So they know what's good, right? So this is just a plain arugula that you'll see at some of the stores, local stores, H-E-B, Central Market, stuff like that, Kroger stores. And they're pretty decent, but they're just real temperamental greens. You got to stay cold the whole time. You rinse them with a little bit of spray with a couple of squirts of vinegar, 5%. Then rinse that off, and then we're good to go. So these salads here, I like them because I like the arugula salad because what it is a base of arugula, and we're gonna have a couple of slivers of anchovies in there for our natural salt, and you get you want to go ahead and squeeze your lemon juice if you can. I highly recommend one of these, high production kitchen or not. This is a KitchenAid makes this one, and it's for lemons. You can squeeze oranges and limes and other stuff in it as well. I have a green one and a yellow one, so I know which one I'm using. It's real tough. It's lasted a couple of good years. I've had some other ones that were cheaper, but it's a real heavy base and a real solid handle. So when you put it down on the table and you put your weight on it and push down, and then you get all the juice out of there. I zest the lemon, so I get a little bit of lemon zest on top, and I use it for my fish dishes as a garnish for the salads, and just about on everything I get my hands on to have a reason to eat more lemons. And so when you're considering olive oils, because of the aggressive nature of arugula, it's aggressive and it has a natural nuttiness going on with it that blends really well with aggressive olive oil. So this particular one is made by Pertana brand, it's Sorrow, and it's in the region where all olive oils are grown, over there where all the fighting's happening now in the Middle East. So this in particular is a very robust flavor. They make a robust, a smooth, and another genre. But I like this one in terms of how it behaves with what we're doing. So you want to kind of get your palate used to olive oil. Like you should take a good swig of it. Like first thing in the morning, what I do is I squeeze a lemon. This is up to you. It's not a diuretic, but it does help your system move. So you want to take one juice of a lemon and see how much that juice is. And then you want to match it with equal parts of olive oil in a cup. And then a couple of good shakes of cayenne pepper. Stir it up first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. And then it helps you go to the restroom. Don't eat, don't drink nothing until your system moves through. And once it moves through, it's going to be like, oh my God. But you can try the different olive oils. They all have their different nuances. So you can't always tell by a brand that's expensive whether or not it's a quality olive oil. I've had some Members Mark or some, Costco brands that were through a third or fourth party that hadn't gone rank yet. And so you still had all the nutritional value of that olive oil in it, for a fraction of the cost. As long as it's in a dark container and not out in direct sunlight. I hate when they give it to you in a plastic jug because it may have gotten over hot and the plastics begins to break down and leach into the oil as they do our water bottles. So you want to have a glass. Imagine getting back to glass again, glass dishes, glass containers. So this particular one was Terra Delissa. And you see those a lot of different places. This one seems to be exclusive to Central Market. It's organic and it's made. It's a Nunez de Prado. It's a very aggressive, robust olive oil too, and it does really well with our salads. I don't cook with it. It's more of a finishing oil, so you can sip it in the mornings and as well as for your salads. So it gives you some choices. and the more and more your palate develops, the more and more you can appreciate what each one is doing, kind of what's happening. And then of course, get you some organic cayenne pepper. Do not get the regular. Try everything you get your hands on organically. Try to get it because it cuts down on the unknowns, and it lets the knowns be there, so that if you have any issues, you can always reach back out to the manufacturer that can give you a lot number or whatever, and they can trace back kind of what's happening, and then they'll tell you right away what they're using in terms of insecticides or fungus, whatever they're going to use. For most of the stuff, like cayenne pepper, there's a fungus that likes to get on them, but no bug in its right mind would ever bother a cayenne pepper plant. And so they don't have to use certain things that don't require a whole lot of pesticides. Same thing with okra. Not a lot of bugs bother okra. You get some funguses, some white mold, and different things going on with that. But so that's what we're going to do with the salads. We're going to do our base. We're going to cut. You can also cut. Use these in small slivers. This is organic. I got this in particular one at Sam's, and I'm gonna show you how I cut this. So it's kind of like if you ever had a block of cheese and tell you just put the whole cheese in your mouth and chew it up. And saying, I'm chewing, I guess it's good. But if they take that same block and they just cut you some very thin slices off of there, and you'd be like, oh snap, I can taste it. It melts in my mouth. My palate's picking up all the things going on with the different cheeses. So it's the same thing with the vegetables, especially your smooth, your mild vegetables. You want to cut them thin, and we can get the juice to release and all the nutrients to release in their organic form and fresh as possible, never frozen. Everything's fresh. So that's our plot. I think our plot is the hunt for food. We're foraging for food every day. We need something fresh. So the hunt is just like they used to hunt for meat. So now we got to hunt for vegetables almost with the same passion and the same determination in our diet to make sure we're straight. So I'm going to show y'all how we do this. Now this particular is one of the bigger knives. They call it a brisket knife. I call it a bunch of greens knives. So when I have 2 or 3 bunches of collards, 2 or 3 bunches of mustards or kale or whatever you're working with them, but you hold that bunch and you're trying to get through there, you really want to make sure you're getting through there. And I like because it has a rounded edge. So even if you were started at the end of the bunch and you nicked your hand, you still can get your hand out the way. Use a chef knife that's going to have a sharp point, then you're going to get it. Every time you're going in there, you're going to get it. Every time you reach in, you're going to get it. But this one that kind of lets you know where the end of the knife is, and you're coming down. It's perfect because it's perfect for squash. Like if you had, butternut, any of the long squashes, you already have the knife big enough where you can get over that whole squash, and you work it down and push, work it down and push. So what I do is on the big squashes, I'll show you the next class. You get into it, then you flip the whole squash over and use the weight of the squash, and you beat it on the cutting board until it cuts all the way through. So you're not sitting there fighting that squash all the way through. This particular knife is one of my favorites. It has to do with what fits in your hand and what's comfortable for you. This one is Tao, and I like it because it's the way they did the handle is unique. It's smooth. It has a curvature for the palm of your hand that fits in the palm of your hand. And so you really want the knife to be a part of your hand, an extension of your wrist. So when you're using it, use the weight of the knife and you can push down and you won't have any hand fatigue. Some of the other knives, they're sharp. They have a weird finish on them. And the hand, it just doesn't fit in your hand. So if you have a big hand, it's all about the knife that's comfortable for you. So, so you're cutting down, minimizing any kind of accidents. No one, any kind of accidents because of an uncomfortable knife, a dull knife, absent-mindedness, anything like that. And then there goes the joy of cooking. Because you really want to have fun with it, and you want to make sure you actually monitor everything that's fresh that you were dealing with, so that fresh in, fresh out, and you're going to cut down all the possibilities of any issues happening from then on.
Now, Chef, you said something really, really important. You said in my next class.
Yeah.
And so, what I wanted, if you could, while he's Tanya showing his helper how to cut the zucchini, if you, because he's gonna take him over to his table and show him how to cut it, and then when you close out, we can visit toward the end. I think if you would, Edwin. So what happens is, y'all, when we have the cooking classes, you see how he is so serious.
Yes.
See how passionate he gets about a knife
A knife.
and which olive oil to use and all of that. He's truly that guy.
Yes.
He is so serious about all of that kind of stuff. And it can seem boring or what have you when he's just talking about it, but it makes a big difference in your life when you understand and know how to do the stuff. And when he walks these folk through the classes and he teaches them how to make salads and how to hold a knife. So you're gonna cut yourself with the olive oil, white olive oil versus the other oils. You know, the flash point when they burn, when olive oil, don't get, knowing that kind of stuff is very important. Honestly, over here again. So, what I wanted him to do was just do a little. So you see, when you guys will come to our cooking, because the next show, a lot of times the whole show, except for maybe one guest that talks about whatever the subject is, we'll bring in a doctor. I think we said we want to do somebody and do cholesterol checks and some other things at the next when we do, because people have issues a lot of times. They don't pay attention until they can't eat it.
Right.
Or the doctor say you don't need that, or you can't, you know what I'm saying? And then we get their attention.
I got the vote.
Other than that, fried foods and things like that. Whereas there's so many ways to make things that are not fried, and so many ways to. The first time he made, I think it was collard greens, and he put what is the pep? He put the mushrooms. They thought it was pork. You know what I'm saying? Because it tasted the same. And he had to say, no, these are portobello. You know what I'm saying? It's truly like meat, but it ain't meat, and that kind of thing and stuff. And it's been a real learning experience, and it's a journey with that one. And he didn't talk about his okra water, which my daughter swears by, and his what do you have there, chef? Okra water, and what's the other?
Oh yeah. I have I start off with Evian.
No. You got okra, and what's the other
so-
ingredient?
Yeah. Well, I'm starting off with the best water on the planet for me.
Right,
Evian.
okay.
Natural Spring, organic rosemary, and I
Oh, it's
got
rosemary.
I got some growing outside, but you can get it at most stores. Again, the known whatever they're using for the chemicals. I'm gonna cut that down. So just cut the fresh rosemary in there, and it'll last in the refrigerator almost about a good week. If you don't finish it off in that time. Take a few sprigs to get the essence of it. It is infused. You want it to slowly release so that it gets in your bloodstream and it gets in your system faster than if you would sit there and chew on it like a carrot or something. You would pass right through. Your system couldn't get as much out. But in the liquid form, then it gets in your joints and gets everywhere it needs to go easier in your system. The second one is okra. I've grown. This particular one is emerald okra. I've got burgundy. I've got Yalova Akoi okra. I've got motherland okra growing, and a couple other species. I try to grow about 6 or 7 each year out of my garden there. Even when the okra are too hard, you kind of push them through the knife. You can't push through. You can still cut them, especially with our big old knife. You still cut them enough so you get the juice release, and then once you get to drinking it, and this again, let it sit in the refrigerator for about a day, and then day 3, 4, 5, 6, just keep going. You can still drink it. I've drunken it all the way up to the point where I've seen a little the water gets a little cloudy. Right now it's pretty and clear, but as the okra releases, it'll cloud up and get a little milky, and then after that it'll start to go moldy, and you don't want to let it go that long. You're gonna kill it before then. So the whole idea is to get it down, and the slime is really, really good for you. It's good for everything in our DNA, all the way back to the motherland.
Well, Chef, since we're talking about eating for two with the okra infused water, Chef, many pregnant women experience the swelling of the feet, right? I think my feet at one time when one of my pregnancies probably grew about 2 sizes or something. Will that help with the inflammation, Chef?
Yes. My neighbor, I should have brought her over here, Christine, and Baptista. She's 44, 45. She had a baby. She said she drank okra water every day. The doctor told her you high risk pregnancy. She said and she had a midwife and everything else, and she said she didn't have any pain. No, just the baby just came on out. It wasn't no problem at all. She drank it, ate it.
She contributed to the okra water, right?
Her pregnancy was smooth,
Okay.
or otherwise within high risk.
One of the things,
It's amazing that they just don't offer okra at all. And in big old city, Houston, 1 or 2 places might offer it, and it's been frozen. They might throw it in some gumbo or something, but they act like it's taboo for them to do it. But they'll walk around it, and we need it in a diet more than anything in every way. I have a book, one book that I use. It's pretty amazing. It's called Okra, a seed to stem story. And it just talks about all the amazing stuff you can do with it, but it's healing. It lowers your A1C for diabetes. It's just amazing. I mean, even if you're drinking it, you can dehydrate these, put them in the windowsill, let them dry, and you can plant them next season in your garden. You can roast the seeds and use the oil and you put it in your hair and put it as a garnish in your salad or any essential oil use that you would have. You want to get it in and out and all over. It is African. It's African DNA all day long. Yes, that's where it started.
Wow. Okay. So for those of you who want a start, why don't you start at least with the okra water? We can't guarantee and promise you that you're not going to have pain during your delivery, young mothers or mothers to be, but it's worth at least trying, because while you're doing that, I do know that because it is high in the antioxidants, it is definitely going to help with your blood circulation, with your inflammation, with joint pains. You know, you have those back pains when you're pregnant as well. So get you some help by just simply drinking some okra infused water as well. Are we ready to close out, Ms. Davis? Go ahead.
We have one thing. And I wanted Lauren, because she got the artist on the phone. I think for you guys that were here earlier, we told you about the art that we share.
Yes.
It's Life and Lifing series is the two that you see here. And Lauren, you can share. Life is Lifing.
And this is The Perfect Life, the one with the fence and the windows.
Yes.
And she has some other art in there as well. And then the one to the left in the corner is not free. And as you can see, you can tell that is
the justice scale.
No.
So
Yes.
what I do,
Yes. So that
it's like it has this natural flat.
You do understand why that's called not free.
You see what spot is trying to be more flat at.
You get me? She has a whole Life is Lifing series. And you know, with the white picket fence, you think you got it made, right?
Yes.
And that was The Good Life. She named all of those different photos, and we feature her along with other artists. We have artists who
have to cut this little
our mentees,
a little bit and
that Anj, most of you, if you know him or what have you, he will feature them, and we'll have their art out, and sometimes they'll be here and they'll say, come and talk to you, that kind of thing, and it's always for sale. But anyway, we just try to make sure that we uplift and support. Thank you. Okay.
Yes. Well, as we get ready to close out this amazing 45th edition of Trending Tuesdays, I first want to give our studio live audience a hand for being with us on today. And then to you, our virtual audience, those of you who scrolled and then you stopped and then you may have left and you came back, but nonetheless, we thank you for joining us. You know what I want you to do? I want you to comment, I want you to like, and I want you to share this amazing broadcast with others. I know that there was something that was said or done that will uplift your life. And if it uplifts you, you have the ability and the power to uplift someone else. We did have a wonderful 2 days with the CareNet organization, our new family. Thank you again, Ms. Wade with YWCA and our other pregnancy clinics or centers, yes, pregnancy centers. All of you, thank you for adding our public officials, healthcare professionals. Thank you for adding to such a productive, conducive conversation over these past 2 days. Thank you, Covenant House. We have to give a shout out to Covenant House, who houses teenagers 18 to 24 years old. Amazing program over there, right in the downtown area, right off of Montrose area, Ward Drive. We got to make sure that you all get that. There's so much that God has blessed Houston with that many of us don't know about. It's right under our nose, as Ms. Davis said when we opened the show. But guess what? We're going to expose you to it because you can only take advantage of what you know you have available to you. So thank you again for listening with us, for learning with us, and thank you to all of you who will collaborate with us. Again, remember our Serve Day on August the 18th. If you want to be a part, we want you to be a part. Join us. Connect with us at thecommunityoffaith.org, and all of our partners, CareNet and others, K Davis in the community, will have that information available to you. So stay tuned. Don't you go nowhere. Be a part of what's a part of you. We can't get rid of each other because we're connected. God bless you. And until next time, go in grace. And while you're walking in grace, have grace for someone else. What's extended to you, you owe it to give to someone else. Blessings.